Hello.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is Ras from DICE. I will be hosting.
Yes, you are not. Your voice is not clear.
My voice is
For
clear.
me,
No, Ali, your voice is clear. अवैस आपकी आवाज क्लियर नहीं आ रही.
ठीक है ना?
नहीं.
Now my voice is clear.
Yes, अवैस, you can proceed.
Okay. Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Awais and I will be hosting today's webinar session. First of all, I would like to welcome you all on behalf of DICE Analytics to the round 10 of webinar series, Career in Analytics Question and Answer Session, Ask Anything. I'm glad to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Ali Abbas, who will be leading this event. Mr. Ali Abbas is an artificial intelligence professional able to efficiently leverage advanced knowledge of statistical inference and machine learning, deep learning to furnish insights and enable data-driven business processes. He has plenty of experience in the domain of data science and currently data scientist in UK. In this session, you will be exploring about how you will build a career in data science and analytics, guide to pursue the right path, analytics career, related tips and guides, your queries and confusions related to the job market in the field of data science. So it's a request to all the attendees to note your questions during the session and ask your queries in the Q&A session at the end. Thank you so much. Over to Mr. Ali.
hello. Can you hear me all?
Yes, you can.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, so I'll just start with a brief um intro of the session first. What you can expect. So this is not a session to teach you data science or data analytics or anything. This is purely for your queries first of all regarding career building in data science, data analytics. So I would assume that most of you already know what data science is or what data engineering is. I'll just present a few slides in the beginning, just so we are on the same page, and then we can start questions from there. You can ask questions during the presentation as well, but as you proceed, you can ask them after the presentation as well. It's just like 7 8 slides. So just let me share the slides and let me know if you guys can see that.
Ali, can you hear me?
Can you hear me, sir? We couldn't hear you. There's some issue, I think, at the side.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Now you're audible.
I think it's a problem if I share the slides, because when I share the slide, so can you guys share the slides on my behalf? Yeah.
You are unable to share your screen, sir?
Yes.
Let me check, sir.
Ali, can you try now? Ali, can you retry now?
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
can.
And can you see the screen slides?
Yes, sir. It's the
Okay. Good. Yes. So can you confirm if you can see the slides?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. Great. Yeah. I'll start with building up from data science. Just to remind, this is open mic, so you can ask questions anytime, and I'll answer all kinds of questions, anything. I'll start with this. So I'll just briefly touch these three things. First one is data analytics. So we'll use the term data analytics, but it is used interchangeably with business analytics or business intelligence. So like for us, all three mean the same thing. It just different terminology for the same thing. Second thing is data engineering or data warehousing or big data, means the same thing. We'll just use the term data engineering. And then we'll come to data science, which covers machine learning, deep learning, advanced analytics. So these all mean the same thing, which is data science. So just starting with data analytics, the purpose of presenting these slides is just to like differentiate between these three so that we know what we are talking about. So first I'll touch data analytics. As you can see, data analytics is mainly data analysis, which we can do using any data tools. Um, Most of the time, like for example, if all of you already know Excel, so in every business, in every company, everyone is using Excel, but that is like more of a generic skill than a separate career path. Because why do I say so? Because for example, if somebody is in marketing, or if somebody is in operations, or if somebody is in sales, whatever field professional it is, or even if it's, let's say, some doctor, they all use they all know how to use Microsoft Excel to do some basic analysis. So this is not something that I would recommend moving forward to adopt as a separate career path. You can do a little bit more advanced. For example, we already used to do build graphs, build visualizations, build dashboards in Excel as well. But it's just that now we have separate tools to do that. For example, Tableau or ClickSense. We use them, or MicroStrategy, or any other tools which we have, Power BI. BI, which you can use to just build more advanced data visualizations as compared to just Microsoft Excel. So this is simple analysis using these tools. It can sometimes involve SQL. Uh, so if somebody does not know what is SQL, SQL is a language. You could say a programming language, but it has a specific purpose. The purpose of SQL is to extract data from a database to do the analysis on it. So in some cases, data is already available in Excel sheets or in files, in CSV files, for example. And in that case, you do not need SQL. But if you do not have a data in any file format and the data is still sitting in database or data warehouse or anywhere, and you want, so in that case, first you will need to extract the data from database, and then you can do analysis on that. So in order to extract the data from any structured database, you need to know SQL. So even in data analytics, in simple data analytics, you could need SQL. Also talking about the field, for example, even in UK, if you have done masters in finance from Imperial College London or from UCL or from Oxford or anywhere, you are a master's in finance, so your field is finance. But when you actually go and apply for a job, like for example, you apply for Bloomberg or you apply for some big investment bank or anywhere, they know that your field is just finance, but they still ask you that whether you know these data analytics tools, including SQL or not. So SQL is not even considered a separate data field or a separate computer science skill anymore. SQL has become more of a basic requirement for any field that you apply to. If you're applying for any office job, you are supposed to know SQL. So out of all the three that I have mentioned, which is data analytics, data engineering, or data science, data analytics is the least technical, but it is analytical. You do need domain knowledge. For example, if you're a data analytics professional in finance, you do need knowledge of finance. Or if you're a data analytics professional in telecom, you need domain knowledge of or business knowledge of telecom in order to do any analysis or in order to data analytics. So this is like more of a recommended as a starting point for people who have no technical background. But when I say no technical background, I mean they do not know any programming or they do not have any computer science background and they just want to step into data field. So for them, it is the starting point is data analytics, which is Excel plus SQL, just to get them started with data, just for them to have a sense of data. Because in all other career paths, SQL is a common factor. So whether you do data analytics, whether you do data science, and whether you do data engineering or big data, in all of these, you still need SQL. So since you need that anyways, so it is good to start with data analytics if you do not have any technical background at all. And of course, it's recommended that you start with your current domain. By current domain, I basically mean in the current job that you are working, basically. So this is data analytics. Next, I'll come to data engineering. So in data engineering, SQL is king. You need to know advanced SQL. Like you should be really, really comfortable with SQL. It's like if I ask you to do anything, you should know right away how to do it in SQL. SQL is the bread and butter in data engineering. So just like, again, this is the purpose is not to teach data engineering, just to like summarize. Data engineering about moving data from point A to point B. Point A is usually data source from where the data is arising. For example, it could be a point of sale, it could be a CRM, or it could be Excel sheet as well. So collecting data, or as we say, ingesting data, extracting data from data source, and then moving it to its destination wherever it is required. Mostly the destination is a data warehouse where you are combining data from all data sources. And on the way, you definitely apply some transformations to bring it in a certain required format. And all of this is done in SQL. And apart from SQL, you also need one of programming languages in data engineering. Mostly it is Java. It could be Scala. For example, if you are using, there's a framework called PySpark, Spark, sorry. If you're using Spark, you would need, Spark is written in Scala basically, so you would need Scala, or you could use Python as well. So in data engineering, you need SQL plus one of these three, either Java or Scala or Python. Moving forward, it is recommended that you know Scala. So data engineering is a purely technical field, and it is recommended for people who already have technical background, which is computer science or developer, software developer, or any development background, programming languages. So if I just want you to note one thing here, that you do not need any mathematical knowledge to become a data engineer. You just need technical knowledge. So what is data? Big data then? So big data is basically conceptually it is the same field. So I think in Pakistan we still hear the words big data engineer and data engineer separately. But moving forward, or in developed world, we do not use any word like big data developer. We just use the word data engineer. When I say, or when you say that you are a data engineer, it is assumed or it is supposed that you know big data as well. So we don't say big data developer separately, because essentially you are doing the same thing as you do in data engineering. It's just that you are using more advanced tools for distributed processing and the 4 V's that you discuss in while learning big data. So if those four V's are true, you basically give an name which is big data. Otherwise, essentially, it is just data engineering. And these are the tools that are involved in big data. These are
Sorry
just
to
tools.
interrupt you. Ali, can you
Yes.
please use the presentation view mode? We have audience who is wanting you to, enlarge, zoom your screen, the slides.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Can you use the presentation view mode in your slides? Yeah. Thank you.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the tools that you can use in that are used in big data. But these are just some tools. These keep changing over time. New tools coming up, and you have to learn those. The core essence is the same, that you are moving data basically from point A to point B, or you are collecting it. I just saw that you guys are asking questions. Just let me finish a couple more slides, and then I'll answer these questions as well. So I've read your questions. Is doing PhD for getting job at UK is a wise option? Which universities are good for PhD or masters in data science? How can I get scholarship? I'll come to these questions. Just let me finish the slides. Just two remaining. Coming to data science. So data science is all about making predictions, doing forecast, any advanced analysis, or answering any question. Basically, if you're a data scientist, you can expect your manager to come to you or your team member to come to you and ask any business question, and you are supposed to answer that using data and statistics. So in data science, you mainly, in technically speaking, you need two things, which is Python and SQL. Data science is purely technical, plus as compared to data engineering, data science is purely technical plus mathematical plus analytical. And it is recommended for people who already have a computer science background or who have a strong mathematics background. So for a person who has a, for example, computer science background, he needs to, it's a plus. In addition to computer science, he needs to learn mathematics. And for a person who already has a mathematics background, in addition to that they need to learn computer science or programming. So question is how to get started in data science. Again, before I move forward, I want to make it clear that data science is about technical plus programming plus mathematics. So if someone does not like mathematics, he or she should not proceed with data science. They can, if they are from technical background, they can opt with data engineering. So if you are fresh, first thing I would recommend is to learn Python programming, because if you do not know Python programming, you will not be comfortable with implementing anything in data science. You can learn now, you can take lectures, but when it comes to actually implementing it, you have to implement it in Python, and so your learning will be hindered. So it's better that you first learn Python, basic Python programming, and then you jump on learning data science. So when you start learning data science, the first thing after learning Python is just take any holistic data science course, which teaches you everything in data science end to end, which basically covers all the breadth, if not depth, for data science. So like we have a data science course. It's I think 8 weeks data science course where we teach both Python first in first couple of weeks, and then data science, Dice Analytics, and then for online you can also learn it from Coursera and DataCamp. It is just like a little more difficult because there's no one there to answer your question, or if you're stuck anywhere, there's no help. If you do an in-house training like with data science with Dice Analytics, you can get the instructor help. After you are done with a holistic basic course of data science, you would be in a better position to answer that whether data science is for you or not. So the thing is, in data science, whenever you start applying for a job, there is no job for data science as a beginner or as a fresh, which kind of makes sense because a data scientist is making predictions and is making decisions. So you won't give any newcomer or any fresh graduate to make predictions or any forecasting. So the question is, which is a very common question, that if I am fresh, if I just graduated out of university and I have done these courses and I've learned data science and I've done the mathematics as well, how do I build my experience without actually having any job and start? The answer to that is Kaggle.com. You can do in parallel, you can do advanced courses and you can build your profile on Kaggle or GitHub. So let me briefly tell you about Kaggle. Kaggle is a website where different companies post their data sets. So you have a data set available in Kaggle, and you also see the solution to that challenge, which is uploaded by other people. Your own solution, like your own Jupyter notebook on that dataset, and you upload that on the Kaggle website. And then once you have done that for sufficient number of data challenges or completions, you can show that profile which you had built on Kaggle to your employers, mention it on your CV, and this is how you can build experience without getting a job, and you can show this experience when you are applying for the job. For a person who is experienced, they have to go through all the same process, but what they can do is focus on the last point in the organization that you're working. For example, you're already working in banking, let's say, and so just find a use case. For example, one of the use cases in banking could be predicting that if a customer is going to default on loan or not. So you can build a simple model using data that if a person is going to default on their loan or not. And you can do like 2-3 such cases in your current domain, in your current job, because you know the domain, you already have the data. So implement or make 2-3 models there, implement them, and then when you apply for next job as a data scientist, you can say that I am experienced data scientist because I have already implemented these 2-3 use cases. Experience when you are already experienced professional in a field. And now I'll come to questions. So starting from first question is by Ismail Dar. It is practical applications of data science and analytics for the manufacturing industry. Yes, so my first, so I'll just briefly give my introduction here as well. I started with Bentley Systems which is an American company based in Islamabad. I was working as a .NET developer. I learned about data science. I moved to a real estate-based startup. I applied data science there, and then I moved to which is Telenor, which was my job in Pakistan. I worked in Etisalat, which is again a telecommunication company. I worked for more than a year UK, London. I've been working here in fintech since more than a year as a data scientist, which is total 6 years experience. So coming back to my briefly tell you what you can do in manufacturing. The biggest problem in manufacturing is maintenance, or more precise maintenance. So what we did was build a model where you're collecting data using sensors or using IoT on multiple devices, and you build a model to predict which uh, which component or which hardware or which part is going to go down, is going to malfunction, and you predict that in advance, and you do the maintenance in advance in order to avoid any downtime in the industry. So this is one of the main use cases of manufacturing industry, which is predictive maintenance, where you predict which part is going to or which hardware or which equipment is going to go down, and before it the new one. And another use case is the inventory management, where you are forecasting basically what is going to. So these are the two main cases that you can always start with working in manufacturing industry. What is one is inventory forecasting. The next question is doing PhD or getting job at UK a wise option? So I'm not sure if you are talking about PhD in Pakistan or PhD in UK. I'll answer both. For example, if you're saying that if you do PhD in Pakistan, it will help you in the job. Um, it will help you in the job in in UK. Uh, I would say that if you are going to go for PhD, you would better go it in UK rather than in Pakistan, because PhD in Pakistan is very theoretical. I have seen very less PhDs which are actually implementing the research in Python or in advanced tools as well. So mostly it's just like theoretical research work. When you go to a job, they demand skills and demonstrated skill, which is your experience. So you have to do that first of all. Secondly, um, if your purpose is just to get the job, not actually do research, I would not recommend you getting a PhD, because if you just want to get a job, you can do that. You can get that with masters as well. So you do not need to do PhD to get a data science job. So yes, so if you are going to go for just for the job, don't do PhD. If you still want to do it from UK and build the skills in the meantime. The next question is, which universities are
Yes,
good for PhD or
let
master?
me add something, sir. If you want to ask questions, you guys can raise your hand so that I can unmute your mic and then you can ask directly from sir.
Yes.
You can continue, sir.
Okay. So the next question is, which universities are good for PhD or masters in data science? How can we get scholarship? I have not done PhD, so I would not give you a very strong advice. I cannot give a very strong advice on that, because it is like I said, for job it is not required. You can do if you're coming to UK, you can basically do PhD from any reasonable university. Um, there are top universities like Oxford, Cambridge, like that, and then there is like King's College, UCL, Imperial, and then there is, for example, Queen Mary University. There are many universities. I would say just get admission in any university where you are getting good scholarship, where you are not going to pay any fees, and while you are there, just try to focus more on your skills, which is Python, doing projects on Kaggle, etc., etc. So you would still need skill, the things that I mentioned you in the slide. Rest, you can pick any university where you can manage your expenses, basically, where you can manage your finances overall. That would do. Is data science more demanding or data engineering is more? So if I talk about salaries, both for data science and data engineering, there is a not lot of salary difference in both, at least internationally. Both get similar salaries. If I talk about demand, so if you consider a scenario, for example, if you're in your company, you needed a data science function, you would hire maybe one or two data scientists, but you would hire like 5 or 6 data engineers because you need more work, more manual work there in data engineering. In data science, it is mostly about using your brain, using your thinking. So generally, less data scientists are required and more data engineers are required. So if you were to learn and apply for a job, as compared to data science is a relatively longer path, I would say. So if you just want to get a quick job in either of these, I would say that you should go for data engineering, not for data science, because data science is long and challenging because you have to do mathematics as well in data science. In data engineering, there's no mathematics, so it's easier and it is quicker. The next question is, how can we get job at UK directly from Pakistan? Okay, so ideally speaking, um, there is no restriction on getting a job in UK directly from Pakistan. I know a few people only jobs which are sponsoring your visa. So there are a few companies which sponsor visa. So you can only apply for the jobs which sponsor visa, and then you need to be very highly skilled and experienced. Experience is a must here. You need to be very experienced, at least like 5 years or like 8 years experience to get directly job from Pakistan. If you have a very amazing profile like on Kaggle and you are very experienced, uh, otherwise I would say that you should maybe apply for masters here, and once you are here for master you can apply for job, and once you are here for master you will easily get a job. So I'll just type this here. You need a tier 2 visa sponsorship. You can go to government website and see which companies are tier 2 sponsoring. I'll share the link of that list and you can start applying in those companies because those companies can sponsor your visa. How to approach them? The best way to approach them is LinkedIn. Have a very good LinkedIn profile, and then you add your courses to LinkedIn, add your get recommendations, add all your experience, make a very good LinkedIn profile, and then reach out to recruiters in UK. So in Pakistan, every company has its own HR, its own recruiters, but in UK, there are separate companies which are just purely recruitment companies, and they just recruit people for other companies. So you can start approaching those recruiters. Just tell them that you need jobs which are tier 2 visa sponsoring, and if they like your profile, they will recommend you. So find recruiters on LinkedIn. I am typing it here. Also, you can see my profile as well on LinkedIn. You'll get an idea. So in my case, I did not apply for UK. I was working in Dubai, and the recruiter itself approached me on LinkedIn because they search for people in data science. My profile came on top, and they messaged me to give interview. I gave interview, and then they themselves offered me job and offered me visa, and then I went to UK. So if your profile is really really good, you do not need even to apply. They will approach you themselves. So I hope this clears you how can you can get a job indirectly in from Pakistan. Have a very excellent Kaggle and LinkedIn profile, and you should have experience. That's how you can do it. Next question is data science and analytics a good career in Pakistan, or one should do their masters from an international university and try to get a job there? No, I don't think you need an international masters to get a data science job in Pakistan. Data science and analytics is a very good career path in Pakistan. I worked 3 years. Many people, there are a lot of jobs. You again, you do not need masters. You need good skills, and then you need to show those skills. To get the skills, you need to do courses. You need to learn like programming languages, and you need to learn for that. Yes, we can share presentation, and I can share you the links as well. For example, the link for website where all the tier two sponsoring companies are listed. I can share that. Yes, any other questions? So one thing that I'm seeing here is people think that you need masters or PhD to get a data science job. That is not the case. You need skills, knowledge, and then you need a good profile, which you can build on Kaggle and then LinkedIn. Okay, the question is which companies are providing data science and data engineering jobs in Pakistan? I think by now almost all companies are providing data science and data engineering jobs. For example, in telecom, you have all the telecom, Jazz, Telenor, Zong, Ufone. Then all the banks have data science and data engineering jobs. I think now even government institutes have data science job. Recently, I was seeing that Nadra opened a data science vacancy. So then you have in startups, then you have in retail like Daraz, Food Panda, Uber Careem, etc. So you have data science and data engineering jobs in all good companies, basically. The next question is data science opportunities for public sector in Pakistan, social data science opportunities and future prospects. So just like I mentioned, Nadra, you can join there. I think we DICE trained Nadra professionals in data engineering and in big data. So they are implementing data science and big data. They have data. You recently saw the case where people were getting fake people had fake credentials, and they were getting Benazir income support programs monthly checks where they were actually not entitled. They were already like grade 17 and above officers. So that was called using data analysis and data science, where they just went to data and they saw that these people are actually not needy people. They are well off, and they are still illegally taking Benazir income support programs, monthly stipends. So they found out using data science in Nadra. So you see, there are opportunities in public sector and in social data science as well. Okay, next question is, Power BI and Google Data Studio are tools for data analytics. Should we learn these two? It really depends. So for example, this is a question by Ehsan Ali. So for example, if you're going, it depends on the company actually. If you're applying for a company which already has Power BI, so in that case, you need to know Power BI. If you're applying for a company which uses Click, then you need to know Click. So it depends what tool or what infrastructure that company is already using. If the company is already using Power BI, then yes, you need to learn Power BI. Otherwise, not. So basically, you need to know the basics. You need to know how to effectively use Excel or SQL to transform or extract data. You need to know how to make meaningful and storytelling, compelling dashboards. If you know the basics, you can learn any tool depending on the job that you're applying, and you can implement that. So there is no best visualization tool. It's just that you need to know how to do dashboarding, and then you can just see that the job that you're applying for, what tool they require, and then you can just learn that tool for visualization. Okay, what the next question is Hassan Sajjad, I think. What kind of data analyst projects leads to job? So I won't recommend doing data analyst projects just like that. One thing that comes top of my mind is, for example, if you're going to apply for, if you think that you want to apply for telecom, you can go to PTA website. You can get the data from there, and then you can make some dashboards and do some interesting analysis over that PTA data or for telecoms. And then when you apply for telecom job, you can tell them that you have already won this project and build dashboard. So that can a big plus for you. So it is domain specific, basically, to answer your question. If you're going to apply for telecom, do analysis on telecom data. If you're going to apply for finance, do analysis on some financial data. So it depends just on the domain. Whatever domain you are interested in applying for a job, do an analysis project on the data from that domain. So coming to this question, sir, my experience is in, how can I relate my experience to get GH? Again, just like I mentioned in my slides, if you're already a developer, so I suppose that you are very comfortable with SQL and you're also very comfortable with programming. If it's Python programming, good. If it's not, then you should learn Python. If you're already a developer, it will take only 1 week to learn Python, or 2 weeks maximum. And then it depends that if you can learn maths or not. If you do not like maths, then I would say go for data engineering. If you like maths, then go for data science. And then again, just do the relevant courses. You can do them in-house in DICE or online at Coursera or other websites. And if it's data science, just do some projects. Data and challenges available on Kaggle website. You can just go see how other people are doing it and just make your own version and upload it. Have a profile, build a profile, and then you can apply for any jobs. So that's how you can switch. The next question is by Hamza Khan. Hi, sir. I have seen a trend towards no code environments in ETL tools, Spark being SQL centric, and machine learning leaning towards flow programming. How do you see these technologies in the coming decade or two? Programming is always going to be there. There are tools out there which are basically meant to just quickly try out. Those are actually tools for people who are at managerial level, where they just want to like get a look and feel of data science, and data is already very arranged, and they just want to like build a quick analysis or a quick model, predictive model on top of that. But you can expect that the programming is here to stay. You will need coding in this profile, especially if you are joining as a junior or as an intermediate level person. It is going to be SQL centric always for data engineering. You will always need SQL. You need to write very complex data pipelines. So you need to write that in SQL, and then you need to do coding as well in Java or in Scala or in Python. So this is going to stay in the next at least a decade as well. Maybe people move to new languages. For example, people move from Java to Python, and then from Python to Scala, and then from Scala they could move to Julia, which is another language. So there could be new languages, but there you will always need programming in data engineering and in data science as well. So this question is from Hassan Sajad. As a fresher of data, sorry, as a fresher, how we can land job as data analyst, engineer, scientist, as many companies looking for experienced candidates. So I already answered this question in my slides. So when you're a fresher, of course you have not been to any job, you do not have any working experience. So in that case, what you can do is that you can pick up data from Kaggle website. Let me write here again. Please visit this website and see the data challenges that are there. Pick the easiest one. For example, the starting one could be Titanic dataset. I have mentioned it here. You can see that, and then you can see that other people have posted their solutions. And likewise, you can also start using these datasets and post your solutions on Kaggle. Kaggle is a public profile. So whenever you apply for a job and you are a fresh graduate, you can just show them that this is my Kaggle profile, and you can see that I have done this XYZ projects on there. This is how you can build your experience as a fresh graduate on Kaggle. The next question is by Rizwan. Sir, employers ask for basic degree in computer science, but my MS degree is in electronics engineering. Should I go for MS computer science degree now, or just gain skills online is enough to get job in data science or the engineering domain? So ideally speaking, you can still get a job even if you have did masters in electronics engineering. Again, it is just about the skills. You need to learn the right skills. You need to, like I said, if you're, for example, if you're going for data science, you need to learn Python, you need to learn SQL, you need to learn data science, machine learning, mathematics, statistics. If you have learned all that, and if you have done some projects on Kaggle, like I mentioned, then you can apply for any job. You do not need masters in computer science uh, to apply for job. So even if you, for example, even if you get masters in computer science, you need to gain that. If a master's in computer science helps you in doing that, you should do it. If it doesn't, then you shouldn't. You can spend that time on Indice or on Coursera to learn those skills, and then implement some projects on dataset on Kaggle.com. So you need skill and a good profile, not a degree, essentially. So just to give you an example, I have seen many people here. So I know a data scientist here in UK. She has done PhD in chemistry. She did PhD in chemistry, and now she's a data scientist. And some people have done degree bachelor's in finance, some have done in econometrics, some have done in psychology even, and they are still data scientists here. So it is not about the degree, it is about getting the right skill. If you know the right skill, Python programming, SQL, mathematics, machine learning, and then you can show that skill by implementing some projects on Kaggle, you can always get a job. Yes, any more questions? Best platform for hunting jobs in UK. So I have not done job hunting as such. Like I always said that I was just approached by them. What worked for me was LinkedIn. You can make a very good profile on LinkedIn, and then people will approach you. Otherwise, I just write it here. There's Glassdoor. You can build a profile there and upload your CV there. Usually, startups are very encouraging to get people from outside UK. So you have good chances of, if you want to get a direct job from Pakistan, you have more chances if you apply for a startup. So to apply for startups, there's a website called Angel List. I have shared the name here. You can upload and make your profile on Angel List. All the startups who are looking to hire are on this website. So if they find your profile relevant, they will like take your interview, and if you pass the interview, they will ask you. They will offer you a job and visa. The company that I'm working with is also a sort of startup, Revolut. It is the fastest and now I think the biggest startup of Europe. It's valued around $33 billion. It also started like this. So LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and if you are just targeting AngelList, if you're just starting startups, then your website is AngelList. And I'm sure there are many other websites as well. The point is to have a good profile. And the point of having good profile is to have good skills and then demonstrating those skills on kaggle.com. Yes, I can share my profile as well. Just a minute. This is the link to my profile. Yes, any more questions? Yes, let me share the website for tier 2 sponsoring. So I've shared with you the government website where you can see all the companies which can offer you sponsorship. So if you see a job from these companies, you can apply there and you can ask for visa sponsorship. So basically UK has multiple visa types. For example, in US you have H1B, etc., etc. In UK, there's a tier 1 visa. Tier 1 visa is for entrepreneurs. Tier 2 visa is for people like us who are skilled, who are basically doing computer science job, or like engineers, etc., etc., people with degrees. And then there is tier 4 visa. Tier 4 is for students, like that. So the kind of visa that we need is tier 2, which is working visa basically. What about machine learning and AI? Machine learning, like I said in the beginning, machine learning and AI is like a subset of data science. Part of data science where you're going to train the machine to make the predictions is machine learning and AI. So whatever I have said about data science is basically true about machine learning and AI as well. It's the same thing in terms of our discussion today. Sir, the question is by Hamza Khan. Sir, do we have to study statistics separately for ML, or can it be learned intuitively by practicing Kaggle datasets? So when you're just starting out, I won't say that just go start learning statistics. When you're just starting, I would say just do some holistic course, like the course that I designed it myself. The course in DICE. It is a very good course for starting. You will learn all the required initial statistics there. Once you want to go advanced, there are multiple courses. I can share you the ones which I did to learn maths for it. Just let me share the links on Coursera. So I use this website for this specialization for learning statistics. This is specialization of multiple courses. You can just do individual courses. This was for probability and statistics part of machine learning, and then for linear algebra, there is a specialization by Imperial College London. This one is for linear algebra for mathematics. So I did these two to learn mathematics for um, data science and machine learning. I found them relatively easier. The one that with statistics is like super. I think it's super easy. So you can start with that but don't go that upfront. Go to these when you have learned Python programming, when you have done the overall data science course from DICE or from Coursera. And once you are done with that, then you should go more deep dive into maths and stats in these courses. Yeah, any other questions? I think you can talk in mic as well.
You can raise your hand so that I can unmute you so you can ask your question. You can raise your hand, guys, so that you can ask your question. I will unmute you so that you can ask your question.
Yeah, so you can think of questions. I'll just summarize a few things which have come up by now. One was yes, I think we have a question by Rizwan.
Now you can ask your question, Rizwan.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum.
Sir, as you have told me that that for the data science we need Python, SQL, machine learning, and such things. So for data engineering, what are the specific skills do we have to land a job?
Okay, so to start with SQL, and then basically any scripting language. Python could be one, Java could be one, or Scala could be one. So it's SQL. You should be like very, very good with SQL, advanced level. And you should have like intermediate level in any scripting language, which could be like Python is the easiest one. It could be Java as well, or it could be any other language that you are comfortable with. So first of all, you need these. Then you need to learn some tools and some concepts. For example, first concept is data warehousing. We teach that we teach SQL plus data warehousing in our in a course at DICE as well, in which we basically teach Teradata. So Teradata is one of the data warehouse, but you can build data warehouse in any other tool as well. You can build that in Hadoop. You can build that in any other languages, in any other tools. Sorry. So the basic thing is SQL, one scripting language, which could be Java or Python or Scala. Concepts of data warehouse. What is data cubes? What is OLAP? What is OLTP? Things like that. Data warehousing concepts. And then some big data concepts like what is volume, velocity, veracity, etc. What is distributed computing? What is horizontal scalability, vertical scalability? So like that is all the knowledge that you need to be data engineer, which is basically all the data warehousing knowledge. and all the big data knowledge. So I'll just summarize it here. SQL plus scripting language like Python or Java plus yeah. So I've written it here in the chat. Briefly, you need these in data engineering, and we teach that all in our data engineering or data warehousing course at ICE.
Sir, I have another question.
Yes.
Like I mentioned that I have my basic degree in electronic engineering, like BE
Yes.
electrical engineering, and I have done my master's in electronics engineering as well. But one of my friend is doing data engineering job in Pakistan, and when I asked him that if I want to go for data engineering job, he said that you cannot qualify for this job because you will be required a computer science degree for that. So you can just qualify for data analysis job only. So is that true?
So, so if you just ask me if it's true or not, I would say no. But I kind of understand what your friend has been trying to tell you. It is difficult, obviously, when you do not have any knowledge at all. So it will, by difficult, I mean it will take time for you to learn these things, but you can do it. It's not like there's a hard and fast rule that a company won't hire a person who does not have computer science degree. In fact, electrical engineering and electronics is like very similar to computer engineering. 70-80% is the same. So in rest of the world, the people see both of them as the same degree actually for this job. So again, it is about skill. If you have skill, if you have learned these things, and you can show that you have learned these things, and how will you show that? You will show that by building your profile on Kaggle and showing it on LinkedIn. If you have the skill and you can show your skill, anybody will hire you. At least Dice will hire you, as far as I know, and Telecom will hire you. So yes,
Sir, can I ask another question?
yeah,
Sir, for data science, you have mentioned Kaggle.com to build your skill
yes.
set. But how about data engineering? How can we make portfolio for data engineering jobs?
Okay, yeah. So Kaggle is not exactly for data engineers. It is for data scientists and data analysts. What you can do is that you can at least get data from Kaggle, and then you can build some basic ETL pipelines on that dataset and then upload it on GitHub. So for you, you can use the data from Kaggle, write your code on that, develop your solution, ETL solution or any solution on that dataset, and then upload it on GitHub, and then show your profile on GitHub to other people. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the session, and it was really informative. Thank you, sir.
No issues. आप लोग उर्दू में भी पूछ सकते हैं. आई डोंट नो, शायद कुछ लोग इसलिए सवाल ना पूछ रहे होंगे, अंग्रेजी में पूछना पड़ेगा. I just write it here. Have I missed anyone's question or anything that is still ambiguous, not clear? By the way, if you go to AngelList, you can, and LinkedIn, it's not just UK. You can like apply for jobs in any country, basically. You don't have to target UK. The good thing about UK is that if you are going to take the master's route, if you think you can't get or you are not unable to get job directly, and you want to just just get out, you want to do masters, and then after masters you find a job. So UK has the benefit that UK's masters is just 1 year. So if you go to any other country, you'll spend 2 years doing the masters. In UK, the master is just 1 year. So it will save you time if you come to UK for masters. It's just 1 year. So you will come here, and by the end of 1 year, you will have your masters, and if you have good skills, you will have job as well. There are a lot of jobs here.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम
You can ask
सर
your question now.
सर अगर मैं मास्टर्स के लिए अगर मैं यूके जाता हूँ तो ड्यूरिंग द स्टडी क्या मैं जॉब कर सकता हूँ, मतलब वाइट कॉलर जॉब? ये मेरा क्वेश्चन है सर।
लीगली नॉट, क्योंकि जब आप मास्टर्स के लिए आते हैं या बेसिकली एजुकेशन के लिए आते हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन लेकर आते हैं यूके में, तो आपका जो वीज़ा होता है वो टीयर 4 वीज़ा होता है, और टीयर 4 वीज़ा के ऊपर आप वीकली मैक्सिमम 20 आवर्स जॉब कर सकते हैं। सो अगर तो आपको कोई 20 आवर्स वाली जॉब मिल जाती है तो ठीक है, आप वो कर सकते हैं, अगर कोई आपको पार्ट टाइम जॉब देता है इस तरह से। लेकिन फुल जॉब आप नहीं कर सकते मास्टर्स के साथ यूके में टीयर 4 वीज़ा के ऊपर। फुल जॉब करने के लिए आपको टीयर 2 वीज़ा चाहिए होता है, जो कि आपको मास्टर्स करने के बाद मिलेगा। और टीयर 2 वीज़ा डायरेक्टली नहीं मिलता, पहले आपको जॉब ऑफर मिलती है और उस जॉब ऑफर की बेस पे आपको टीयर 2 वीज़ा मिलता है।
ठीक है सर, अगर ड्यूरिंग द जॉब अगर आपको 20 आवर्स की भी जॉब मिलती है तो क्या वो एक वाइट कॉलर जॉब होगी या ब्लू कॉलर जॉब होगी?
इट डिपेंड्स। अगर आपके पास स्किल अच्छा है ऑलरेडी और आप एक्सपीरियंस्ड है, और फिर कोई ऐसा एम्प्लॉयर है जो कि सिर्फ 20 आवर्स वाली जॉब देने पे रजामंद है, तो ठीक है, आप कर सकते हैं। अदरवाइज मोस्टली यहाँ पर लोग जो आते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल स्पेशली जो ग्रेजुएट अंडर ग्रेजुएट में आते हैं, बैचलर्स में आते हैं, तो वो फिर ब्लू कलर जॉब्स करते हैं। लेकिन यहाँ पर ब्लू कलर जॉब करना कोई इशू नहीं है। यहाँ पर एक नेचुरल साइकिल ही ये है कि सब लोग हाई स्कूल के बाद सब लोग अपनी फीस खुद पूरी करते हैं, तो सब लोग यहाँ पर जॉब्स करते हैं। अगर कोई आपको यहाँ पर नजर आता है पिज्जा हट में पिज्जा सर्व करता नजर आता है, तो 2-3 साल बाद वो आपको डेटा साइंटिस्ट नजर आएगा, क्योंकि वो अभी बैचलर कर रहा है और बैचलर के साथ अपनी जॉब कर रहा है। तो यहाँ पर लाइक इट इज क्वाइट नॉर्मल।
राइट सर, थैंक यू सर।
The question is, I have done with Python and done my first data analysis project. What should we approach now for job hunting? So अगर आपको Python आ गई और आपने data analysis कर लिया है, but still you need to do more data science and more machine learning projects, and for that you need to go to Kaggle, do at least 3-4 Kaggle projects there, do exploratory analysis, build visualizations, build a predictive model, and all complete all the pipeline for at least 2-3 projects on Kaggle. And once you have done that, then you can apply for jobs. Add it to your Kaggle profile, add it to your LinkedIn, add it to your CV, and in your CV always add your LinkedIn profile URL, Kaggle URL, and GitHub URL in your CV, and then apply for jobs. Yes, any more questions? I think I'll just summarize the slide once again, because some people seem to be missing. So for data science, this is like what I've said. This is data science. These are the things that you need for data science. Technical knowledge, which is Python, SQL, and basic data science knowledge. Mathematical knowledge. And then when you're fresh, you need to do things in this order. First, learn Python programming. then do a basic or intermediate data science course like the one at DICE, which is like 8 weeks. After you have done that and you see that yes, this is interesting and you like mathematics, then you can learn more advanced mathematics. I have shared the link for advanced maths courses in chat. Once you have done that as well, start building your profile on Kaggle.com. On Kaggle.com, you have multiple challenges with datasets provided. You can see the solutions posted by other people, and you can compare that how good they are doing or how what things that they have used, and you can learn from them as well. Do those, build your own solution, upload it, do that for like at least 2 3 4 projects, and then you will have a Kaggle profile. Add that profile link on your LinkedIn or in your CV, and meanwhile keep doing more advanced courses as well. This is for fresh people and how to build experience. You build your experience on Kaggle. And for experienced people who are already doing job, for example in a software house, and they already have like 5 year experience, and they don't want to waste those 5 year experience, they can build up, they can find some use case and data in their current organization and just implement any predictive models on that. And then when they apply for job, they can tell them that in my current organization, I have worked as a data scientist, I have implemented this solution in this use case. Just to summarize for data science. Yes, any more questions? Okay, I think like just that's it maybe. If no more questions, you will get the
Yes,
slides. You can.
yeah,
Yep.
I think we have a question.
Okay.
सर कैगल पे प्रोजेक्ट्स करने के लिए पाइथन एसक्यूएल और इसके अलावा बस यही स्किल्स रिक्वायर्ड है या फिर आपको मशीन लर्निंग भी आनी चाहिए इसके लिए?
नहीं, आनी चाहिए ऑफ कोर्स। डेटा साइंस का आप कोई भी जब प्रिडिक्टिव काम करेंगे तो आपको पाइथन देखें। पाइथन आप क्यों सीखें? पाइथन आप इसलिए सीखें ताकि आप पाइथन को यूज करके मशीन लर्निंग मॉडल्स बना सकते हैं।
ठीक है सर, राइट।
तो जब आप डेटा साइंस कोर्स करेंगे, जो मैंने आपको बताया स्टेप 2 है, जो स्टेप 1 पाइथन प्रोग्रामिंग और स्टेप 2 डेटा साइंस कोर्स है, वो स्टेप 2 डेटा साइंस कोर्स के अंदर आप जो मशीन लर्निंग है बेसिक वो सीखेंगे।
राइट सर।
जो सेकंड पॉइंट है यहाँ पर, सेकंड ये जो होलिस्टिक डेटा साइंस कोर्स है, इसके अंदर आप वो मशीन लर्निंग सीखेंगे और फिर आप मैथ सीखेंगे और उसके बाद फिर आप केगल पे जाएंगे। तो ये सीक्वेंस फॉलो करना बहुत जरूरी है। पाइथन ओवरऑल डेटा साइंस कोर्स जिसके अंदर आप मशीन लर्निंग इंक्लूडेड है, एंड देन अगर आपको लगता है कि ठीक सेंस बन रही है तो फिर आप एडवांस्ड मैथ जो मैंने लिंक शेयर किए हैं, और उसके बाद आप केगल पे जाएंगे।
राइट सर, थैंक यू सर।
If you don't have any more questions, then we can conclude the webinar. Ali, is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, Avais, you can conclude the webinar.
Okay, ma'am. All right, so that's all about the webinar. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali. We had a great time on this webinar with you. For all the participants, you guys can email us at info@diceanalytics.pk for the recordings or any queries related to our trainings. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Ali, for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Allah Hafiz.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.